Okay, let's discuss the mark of the beast a little bit. Let's discuss the mark of the beast. First of all, what is the mark? Now, here's a symbol on the right, or a visual, and it's got this guy with the hand, and he's got 3 6s on it. And this is the kind of thing that a lot of people think of when they think of the mark of the beast. Oh, we're all going to get this, whatever. It's a barcode, or it's a tattoo, or just somebody's going to brand us with a stamp that says 666 on your hand and on your forehead, right? It's not that simple. It's not that simple. So my recommendations, and I'm not going to give you the full interpretation of what the mark of the beast is. We could do that. It would take more than the 10 minutes I want to give this segment. I would recommend to you, though, if you are interested in studying this, to first start. My first recommendation is study who the beast is. And it's amazing to me that nobody ever thinks of this. If you want to understand the mark of the beast, it's the mark of the beast. So wouldn't you need to first know who the beast is to know what its mark is? If I was to tell you, hey, here's the great sign of a king of whatever government, right? The king of some certain government. Here's his great sign. And you want to know what the sign is? Well, you may say, well, you got to tell me who that king is first. Which government? Which king? What are you talking about? Right? You need to know who the beast is before you can understand what his mark is. You need to identify the beast. So I would recommend doing that first. Study who the beast is in Revelation 13. The first beast out of the sea in Revelation 13 is found in verses, I think, 1 through 11. Study that first. Then, and only then, can you understand who the mark of the beast is. Now, I will also say that this idea that it's going to be a tattoo on your hand or something like that, it won't be that obvious, guys. It will not be that obvious. Revelation, the book of Revelation is full of symbolic language all over the place. All over the place, it's symbolic language. Jesus is described as a lamb who is covered with eyes everywhere. And Jesus is not literally a lamb. That's a symbol, right? He is the Lamb of God. He died for us like a lamb sacrifice, but he is not literally a lamb, right? Just to give you one example. And, okay, talking about the beast and so forth, that's also a symbol. Revelation 13, when it talks about the beast, is quoting Daniel 7. It's the same animals described in Daniel 7 that are described in Revelation 13. There's your hint right there. Well, what does Daniel 7 say about a beast? It says that a beast is a symbol for a nation or a kingdom. That's found in verse 17 and 23, I believe, of Daniel chapter 7. Go check it. Go check me. Make sure I'm telling you the truth. So it's a symbol. A beast is a symbol for a nation, a kingdom, just like we do today when we use a mascot to represent a country, right? Bald eagle symbolizes America. Panda symbolizes China, or you can use a dragon to symbolize China, and so forth. Different countries are symbolized by different beasts or animals. Just a word for an animal, right? That's a beast. So it's symbolic. Don't think this idea, well, it's going to be a tattoo on your hand. Don't misunderstand me. If the government comes to you and says, hey, you have to take a tattoo on your hand or on your forehead, or put a chip in your hand or on your forehead, or we're not going to let you buy or sell, don't do it. I'm not saying, oh, that's no big deal. Don't misunderstand me. Don't do it. I wouldn't do it, but I don't believe that's the mark. I don't believe that's it. I don't think it'll be that obvious. And the other reason why is the key in this chapter is deception. It won't be obvious. It's going to be deception. Deception and worship, false worship. So if you read Revelation 13, go read the whole chapter. You'll see the word deceived over and over again. The beast deceives the world, right? They're tricked into doing this. They think they're doing something right. They're tricked into it. And the word worship is found 7 times in Revelation 13 and 14. But it's false worship. Okay? So you're being tricked. That's the idea here. It won't be obvious. You're going to be tricked. All right. Now let's talk a little bit more about exactly what the verse says. So Revelation 13, Verse 17, well, it's 16 through 18 really is the key passage. And this is in the King James, forgive the these and thous, but you can understand it. I'm going to go with this because it's on the screen. It says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man may buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So that's where we get the term the mark of the beast from. And then it says, here is wisdom, let him that has understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666, or 666. A score is 20. So 3 score would be 60. 666. Okay, that's the verse. But what does that mean? You may say, Joshua, that seems pretty straightforward. We're going to get some kind of tattoo or some kind of microchip or something in our hand or on our forehead. Revelation cannot be understood unless you use the rest of the Bible to translate it. The book of Revelation is 404 verses. Of that, 270 plus, so the majority of the verses in Revelation are either quotes or paraphrases from the Old Testament. So did you know that? It's just like a mosaic of the Old Testament. Look this up. You'll find it you'll find it online. You'll see it's everywhere. If you have one of those reference Bibles that gives you the references after each verse, you'll see it's all over the place in Revelation. It's quoting the Old Testament, quoting the Old Testament, quoting the Old Testament. So the question you need to ask yourself is, what Old Testament verse is this quoting? Because that will be the key to understanding what this is talking about. Well, Revelation chapter 13 and verse 16, where it says they're going to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that is a quote from Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 8. And it's amazing to me how many Christians do not know this, have never heard this. You are probably hearing this for the first time. I would bet the majority of people that are hearing this for the first time. You've heard of Mark the Beast, but you never knew that it's quoting the Old Testament. It's quoting Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 8. What does it say in Deuteronomy 6, verse 8? It says, and I have it here on the screen, this is, I think, from the NIV. It says, tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. So on the hand or on the forehead. Almost exactly the same. Receive a mark in your right hand or in your forehead. Almost the exact same language. What is that talking about? I recommend reading the whole chapter so you can see I'm not taking this out of context. Read all of Deuteronomy 6. In fact, read the chapter before it, Deuteronomy 5, and you will see that Deuteronomy 5 is the listing of the 10 Commandments. It's a repeating of the 10 Commandments. They're first given in Exodus 20, and then they're repeated in Deuteronomy chapter 5. Deuteronomy 6, Moses, after repeating the 10 Commandments, he says, now look, meditate on these commandments all day. Think about them all the time. Talk to them as you're going about your way. Teach them to your children, etc., etc. Bind them as a sign upon your hands and let them be as like a symbol on your foreheads. That's what Deuteronomy 6:8 is. When it says tie them as symbols on your hands and bind them on your forehead, the them is the 10 Commandments. That's what it's talking about. So this is a symbol, but this is a good one. On the hand or on the forehead, it's a symbol, but it leads to the 10 Commandments. All right, I'm not going to go into too much more detail here now because we don't have time to go into all the translation of this, all the interpretation, but I'll give you that as your breadcrumbs to start your study. Dig deeper from there. But let me just explain it this way. When Deuteronomy 6:8 said this, it was not literal. What does the hand and the forehead symbolize? It says, let the 10 Commandments be like a symbol on your hand and bind them on your forehead. Okay. That means, that's a poetic way of saying, let them control your hand or your actions and your forehead or your thoughts. Very simple. The Ten Commandments should govern what you do and what you believe. Okay? The Bible uses the hand to symbolize your action. I believe it's in Proverbs where it says, whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. It means your actions. So the Ten Commandments should govern your actions, and your forehead, that's your thoughts. Very simple. Very simple. It's a simple symbol. Don't take it literally. You don't need to write the Ten Commandments on your hand, your forehead. Some Jews did that, which was silly. They wrote the Ten Commandments on a little box and put it on their forehead, and it was silly. The apostles didn't do that. We have no record in the New Testament of any of the apostles doing anything. It's silly. That's not the point. Let them govern your actions and your thoughts. So what we see in the mark of the beast is that we're going to see a new power try and do something similar to control the actions and thoughts of the people. It's all about power. That's what this is about. The mark of the beast is about power. It's about saying you're going to starve if you don't go along with this system. You are not allowed to buy or sell unless you accept not the seal of God, but now the mark of the beast, this new authority. Okay. Hopefully that got your minds thinking on what this is, but I'm not going to get into any more detail about what the mark of the beast is. That's just a start for you to get going. Let's summarize. Which, by the way, if they're going to control what you can buy or sell, and they're going to make it where you cannot buy or sell unless you are part of this system, you better prepare for that. You better prepare for that. And I would recommend, and this is my plan, get into the country and learn how to grow a food garden. Because the time is coming soon when you will not be able to buy or sell. How are you going to feed yourself? In Genesis, when Pharaoh was given the vision of a time of famine coming, and then Joseph translated this for Pharaoh, translated the symbols, which that's how prophecy works. It's symbols, right, that are translated. God did not tell Joseph, hey, you need to store up grain and get ready for the famine. It was obvious. Simply telling them that a famine was coming was obvious, and the conclusion should be, okay, if God's warning you that a famine's coming, that means you thank him by getting ready. So in the same way, if God warns you there's going to come a time where you will not be able to buy or sell, that no man may buy or sell save he that has the mark or the name of the beast. And then Bible prophecy tells you, hey, if you take the mark of the beast, you will be lost. The biggest warning in all of Scripture is against people who take the mark of the beast. If you take it, you will be lost. So don't take it. If God's giving you the warning and saying you're not going to be able to buy or sell without committing a sin that is so bad that you will be lost if you do this, because that's what it says. Everyone who takes the mark of the beast is going to be lost. Then he's warning you to get ready. So I'd recommend, however way you can, if you get into the country, learn how to grow a food garden as best you can. I don't know what that means for each individual. I'm just giving a very general recommendation. All right, let's summarize. And we're almost done here. Reckless spending. When Christians see reckless spending happening by the government, they should know that this could eventually lead to the money means nothing. Endless spending will eventually, if it continues, mean the money means nothing. That could easily turn into a government-controlled digital currency where they could shut off your ability to buy or sell. And we could easily imagine a mark of the beast situation happening from that. You're not able to buy or sell unless you have the mark of the beast. I am not saying that the digital currency is the mark of the beast, but it could be used to enforce that. And so I'd recommend preparing beforehand. Best way you can, get into the country, grow your own food, grow a vegetable garden. That's what I'd recommend. That's what I'm planning on doing. So as Christians, as we see these things happening, we should take it as a warning. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. I'm not saying it's going to happen just from this one bill. But eventually, if we continue on this path, that's the direction we're heading, where the money means nothing. And the only way you get out of that chaos of collapsing society, because the dollar means nothing, is a dictatorship. And we could easily see a mark of the beast situation coming out of that. Okay? That's what I wanted to discuss today. I did not quite stick to my 10 minutes for each topic, but I got close. So I'm going to continue to strive to keep each one of these topics under 10 minutes. The big, beautiful bill, hyperinflation, the mark of the beast. There's so many topics that we could look at. I mean, just looking at the news. But again, I'm going to try and give you the things that are related to Bible prophecy. So please like, share, subscribe this video to the YouTube channel. Share this video, like all that good stuff. I'm also going to be posting the audio on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can listen there as well. And I'm going to try and do these once or twice a week. That's the goal. And they will also be broken up into shorts and shorter segments on the YouTube channel. Follow on X and on Instagram as well. Thank you guys, and hit me in the comments if you have questions or if you have a topic you'd like me to discuss next time. That's all we have for today on this episode of Prophecy and Politics. God bless you, and we will see you next time.